Hey guys, so I am just super excited and I want to share my excitement with you all about an assignment that I turned in last week and I just got the grade today. So as some may know, others may not know, I just started my Juris Masters this month at Hodges University in Florida, Fort Myers, Florida, and Juris Masters is basically legal, like masters in law. So no, I will not be able to practice law. No, I will not be a lawyer. It's just giving me a master's in law. So the assignment was to write opening statements for a case that is already out. Which meant that I had to look up a case, find the details, and get research and get all this information about the case. So the gist of it was to pretend that I was the lawyer to that particular case and write the opening arguments. So for those who may or may not know, opening arguments are when the two attorneys for cases, they open up the floor, the trial to the case with facts and pertinent information that the jury needs to know before the trial starts. So, I had no idea what I was doing. I knew what opening statements were, opening arguments. I'd never written one before. I have to see I'm not a lawyer. So it was a bit of a challenge. But I got that 100, y'all. So before I read what I wrote, I want to share with you something my professor wrote. And I'm just so humbled and amazed and just overwhelmed with I just feel a whole bunch of different emotions for a couple of reasons. Most of my life, I was told that my voice was very annoying. People don't want to hear what I have to say. So I had to think outside the box to get people to hear me. On the other hand, it was like, oh, your voice is too soft. Oh, nobody's going to hear you. So, to hear my professor say these extraordinary things about me made me feel like, oh, wow, I've overcame such a huge hurdle in my life. So my professor for this assignment, she says, Sherry, you truly have the voice of an advocate. And advocacy is equally important in both written and oral form. You compose an eloquent, poignant opening statement about this terrible tragedy for Charles and Kara Johnson, introducing the issue of Mr. Johnson's individual lawsuit and experience of losing his wife as a result of negligent care, as well as the broader issue of the healthcare crisis and unequal care on the basis of race. Your first few statements immediately convey the grief of Mr. Johnson and his son, who now is without a mother, and the reason why this happened. You then take it to the chronological order of events, telling the jury the detailed facts that lead to Kara's death. Your purposeful use of repetition, why it was a young woman, why in this day and age, it was clear, reinforces the injustice that Kara, Charles, and their new baby experienced, and then following with how justice can be served lets the jury know exactly how they should decide this case. You offered specific evidence of the statements made to Mr. Johnson, as well as the evidence of Kara's bleeding and length of time she sat there before being taken to surgery, so this offers the jury a preview of what they will hear in trial, prompting the jury to imagine the pain and grief of this father and family, as well as how they would feel if repeatedly ignored, would undoubtedly impact the jury and lead them to conclude that there was serious, inexcusable negligence on the part of the hospital. This was an exceptionally powerful statement with great care, attention to detail, both law and fact, empathy, and passion woven into it. So this is what my professor said about my opening statement, y'all. So I'm about to read my opening statement. I am in no way, shape, or form a lawyer. This was just an assignment. So I'm going to read my opening statement. And y'all can tell me what y'all think in the comments. Hi, whoever's viewing. I can't see who you are, but hi. So my opening statement starts as, for the first background on the case. So this is a story. There is a story that you all can look up about Kara Johnson. She died after giving birth to a newborn son via C-section. So it was routine C-section. Her husband expressed several times throughout the day that his wife was in distress. No one tended to her until 10 hours later when they decided to do a surgery, and she died. So this was a case that Mr. Johnson brought to court, and the assignment was for me to pretend to be his lawyer for the case and write the opening statements. So my statement starts as, "Good morning. I stand before you representing a grieving father, a father who must raise a son without his mother. There is a healthcare crisis in this country. Women, particularly black women, are dying at alarming rates during and after childbirth. Why is this, you may be asking yourself? The answer is just like a lot of systems in this country, the healthcare system is unequal when it comes to races. Kara and Charles Johnson went to the hospital, excited to be giving birth to a son via elective C-section. Little did Charles know that he would be a single father to their newborn son. Mr. Johnson knew right away that something was wrong with his wife when he noticed blood inside of her urine bag. He brought it up to a nurse and was instantly dismissed. This woman looked me directly in my eyes and said, 'Sir, your wife is not a priority right now.' So this is what the nurse said to Mr. Johnson on that day. If Miss Johnson having blood in her urine was not a priority, then what was at that moment? After repeatedly asking for someone to check on his wife, she was finally taken to surgery 10 hours after giving birth. But it was 10 hours too late. Mrs. Johnson had 3.5 liters of blood in her abdomen. She was allowed to bleed internally for over 10 hours while doctors and other medical professionals did nothing to save her. Were they doing their jobs with other patients? I do not know, nor is that my concern. My concern is, why was a young woman subjected to death from a routine C-section? These surgeries are done every single day. Why, in this day and age with the advancement of medicine, was a woman left to die in a hospital full of medical staff? I can ask why all day long, but that will not do Mr. Johnson any justice. Justice for Mr. Johnson means having the hospital be accountable for their actions. This was a woman who was supposed to go home with her husband and her brand new baby. And yet, here we are, seeking justice for Mr. Johnson. The hospital and the staff neglected Kara. It was clear in the words spoken to Mr. Johnson by the nurse after he expressed his concern. It was clear when after 10 hours of bleeding, Kara was brought into surgery. As unfortunate as it is for you to hear about the death of Kara, I want you to know she is one of many black women who have died giving birth in this country. Having a baby is supposed to be a joyous occasion. The next steps after having a baby should be deciding on what outfit your baby should wear home or who should visit your baby first. Mr. Johnson did not get to make any of those decisions with the mother of his child. In fact, his next actions involved pure grief and anguish. He first had to process the fact that he was now going to be a single father. He had to make the devastating phone calls to his family about the loss of his wife. These are things that no man is prepared to do while they go through childbirth with their significant other. So I want you to imagine how this father feels knowing he will never see his wife again. How he feels knowing he must tell his young son that he too will never see his mother. While imagining that, imagine how you would feel if you were neglected and ignored in the very same place that is supposed to be safe and provide you with medical care. Today, you will see evidence of healthcare neglect and the effect on patients, particularly black patients. There is a healthcare trend that is on the rise, and it is not positive at all. This needs to stop, and medical professionals need to be held accountable for the horrendous behaviors that violate their oath, the same oath that they made to protect us. That is my opening statement, my opening arguments. How did I do, people? Oh my god! So I got 100, and I read my instructor's feedback. So I'm really humbled about this experience. I really liked this opening arguments thing. I don't know about life in the courtroom, but advocacy is my thing. I don't know if I want to be all up in the court like this, but I'm really down for advocacy of people's civil rights, constitutional rights. So I just want to share with y'all how excited I am. I'm just so, I was born to be an advocate, and that is my purpose in life, and I always will advocate for the people who cannot speak. This young lady, she's not here anymore to speak. I don't personally have anything against the medical, the healthcare. I myself having 3 C-sections, I have never gone through any of the things that I've heard about with black women not being listened to, and all these things I've heard. I've never been subjected to these things, but just because I've never been subjected to it, that doesn't mean that I should turn a blind eye to it. It's not right. Just like everything else in this country, when it comes to black and brown people, is not right. We deserve to be afforded the same opportunities as our non-black and brown counterparts. It is not our fault that we are the color that we are. But since we are the color that we are, and we cannot change the colors of that we are, no matter what you do to yourself, we are here. We want the same equal rights. We deserve the same equal rights, especially when it comes to our freedom and our medical care. So for me, I'm going to advocate, and I'm going to speak up for the people that cannot speak up. I am going to speak up and let the world know enough is enough. Enough has been enough. But really, people are really sick and tired. Women should not be dying giving birth. Babies should not be going home without their moms. Husbands, boyfriends should not be raising their child alone. That's insane. Especially when these are routine surgeries that go on every day. Every day. My goddaughter lost her mother due to neglect from a C-section. A C-section. I had 3 of them. I already know what it is. So by me having 3 of them, I already know what it is. So if a step is missed, I'm going to let them know. And then it might be, part of the problem is, we are a part of our own healthcare. We need to advocate for ourselves. But we the people, we don't know what we don't know. So if you're coming to us and you're telling us in all this medical jargon that such and such is wrong with us and we don't know, first of all, we need time to process something that's going on. Second of all, we need to be told things in non-medical jargon, because I'm like, listen, slow down with all of that medical stuff. What is this in English? Layman's term, please. You cannot advocate for something that you don't understand. You can't advocate for something that you're just confused about. You can't even advocate for something in a distressful state of mind. Enough is enough. I really truly hope that 2021 is the year of change. We have a new president who has been doing some things that I've been seeing him overturning a bunch of things that our previous president, I don't want to say his name because he don't deserve that from me. So I see a bunch of things being worked out. Thank you. And now I respect the fact that the leadership doesn't need to be told what to do. He already knows what to do. He already knows what the people have been complaining about forever. And this is a really good thing that within the first 100 days, he's working. This hasn't even been a week, has it, people? No. Tomorrow's a week that he's been in office, and he's been doing things, so that's a really big plus here. Hopefully our president continues to do great things for us. Hopefully we can get some medical reform, prison reform, criminal justice reform, education reform. We need all of that type of reform, because as great as our black and brown people can be, these doggone reforms got their knee on our necks. I don't need a knee on my neck. My kids don't need a knee on their neck, so I'm here to advocate for get your knee off my neck. I got things to do. My kids got things to do. Their kids got things to do. We, as a people, black and brown people, we are to be some great people. I am pro-black, but that does not mean that I'm anti-white. I love everybody. But when it comes to issues of my black and brown people, I'm not gonna sit here and walk around with a blind eye to it. No, these are my brothers, my sisters, my mama, my people. I'm black. Can't change it. I don't want to change it. I love being who I am. Thank you for watching. Whoever's watching, I don't know who it is. So I just want to share my paper. I'm so pleased. I did not know what the hell I was doing with that paper. I didn't know where I was going. I just wanted to make sure that somebody felt them emotions that poor man felt. That poor baby, that poor family. So, thank you guys for sharing. Letting me share. I'm so excited. Have a good day.